Hello, I'm Stewart Room. I want to tell you about the EU General Data Protection Regulation, or the GDPR for short. Data protection law regulates the use of personal data by businesses and other entities. The GDPR represents the biggest shake-up of data protection law in over 20 years. It will have massive effect. In 2016, we expect the GDPR to be a top agenda item for most entities. You see, every entity uses personal data. Every business, public authority, charity, school and hospital. And any entity that holds or uses European personal data will be captured by the new law, regardless of where in the world they're situated. And every person whose personal data are held in Europe will be the beneficiary of the new law. There's no other law with such breadth and scope. So why is this new law so important? Well, in addition to its breadth and scope, the new law is important because of what it seeks to do, which is to impose greater regulatory and citizen control over personal data, a vital asset of the global economy. Firstly, it imposes a multitude of new compliance obligations on entities, which will be time-consuming and costly to address. These compliance obligations include new rules about the obtaining of consent to use personal data. Obtaining consent is about to become a lot harder. There'll be new requirements to carry out privacy impact assessments in order to understand the risks to personal data and privacy that can flow from the use of data. And there'll be new requirements for privacy by design, so that protections for personal data and privacy are baked into all business operations and processes right at the very beginning. And there'll be new obligations for transparency, including a breach disclosure requirement for the reporting of security and confidentiality breaches to the regulators and to people affected. Breach disclosure is akin to washing one's dirty linen in public, and it's bound to lead to serious legal problems. Secondly, the GDPR gives people very enhanced new rights over their personal data, which we can use against entities and in court. For instance, we'll be able to demand the right to be forgotten so that our personal data are deleted and destroyed by entities. We'll be able to demand data portability so we can move our data from one entity to another. And we'll be able to demand greater access to our data. But most significantly, we will be able to sue entities for compensation if we are distressed by a breach of the law. And of course, we'll be able to pursue our complaints before the regulators. Now, thirdly, the GDPR gives the European data protection regulators considerable new powers over entities, enabling them to intervene more readily in their businesses and operations in order to shape how personal data are used. And the regulators will be able to impose massive fines for non-compliance, which in serious cases will run into many millions of pounds or euros, perhaps even tens of millions. So how can PwC and PwC Legal help? Well, entities now need to get themselves ready for the new law, and they're going to have to make some difficult choices about priorities, so they need to quickly develop their visions and strategies for compliance. This is where we can help. Our global multidisciplinary team of data protection experts are vastly experienced in this area, trusted by some of the world's leading brands, and we're here for you. We've built a free-to-use online GDPR readiness assessment tool, which you can use to test your current state of readiness for the new law and your risk profile. We're also holding monthly GDPR boot camps, which you can join in person or by webinar to upskill yourself in the requirements of the new law in the company of your peers and like-minded individuals, again, free of charge. And we've also published a series of guides on the new law and how to comply, which we're adding to all the time. If you'd like to know more about any of these matters, please contact me or any member of the PwC data protection team for more information. Thank you for watching.